and how it exactly works. But I would assume you want the least amount of people to know as possible. But does it even matter? I mean, look at things like the Kennedy assassination and how many people probably knew about that and didn't say anything. Of course, that's within the U.S., and these are people that are outside the U.S. as well. So it doesn't even really matter anymore who knows what, if the whole American public knows. If all of these things were to come out, does it really matter? Is it going to change anything? Are you going to go out there and do something about it? Are you going to stop complying with these bullshit laws? Are you going to tell the government that we're not going to be extorted anymore to pay for this fucking shit? It's not as easy as just not paying, especially if you have a job where they just take it right out. You can claim a certain amount of people, I guess, even though that's a red flag, but Social Security and FICA and all that shit, they just automatically take it out. So unless you have your own business, but they're making it harder and harder for people to have their own businesses. I mean, you look at all this shit that it all goes together. But I'll get back to the video and then we'll get back to the talking about America as an empire.
Part of that has happened because we, as America, didn't lead, and this is from generals and others, in terms of taking them out early on. So they weren't just building from within. They were able to recruit because it looked like there was not going to be an answer back violently from a government like ours. Our military violently on the ground anywhere. So they were able to recruit not just online, but in person. I mean, these training camps now are not just a few that are spotted and you might learn a few things. But these guys are carrying out, they may not be the level of sophistication that our special forces obviously would have, but they're able to elude those authorities in cities. What we learn now about this mastermind that was on the ground the whole time, we'll get into it in a little bit, in France the whole time, it's really interesting how these guys now can elude authorities, and they've been able to operate now for years.
And they're using our internet, Judge. I have Catherine's report right in my hand. The social media has really been integral in this. They're using hashtags. In fact, it says from the media office of the Islamic State. They have a media office, a press office, and they're using our internet. How much can we...
They're using our internet. Our internet. Whose internet is it? Is it her internet? I'm just curious. It's whatever our internet. I guess the internet is an international thing, but whatever they're using, I'm sure the CIA helped them to figure it out. And of course they want to bring that up because they want new restrictions on the internet and they want to be able to ban people and have everybody has an ID and those things. And those are going to come. I mean, Obama brought that up when he started in office. He's brought, just search for it. He's brought it up a bunch of times. So at some point, it probably won't be during his time in office because, he's gone soon. But the next president, no matter who it is, they're going to put in a system where you'll be tracked on the internet. You won't be able to get on the internet unless you have some kind of universal ID, and they'll be able to get rid of shows like mine because I'm gonna let subscribe to that shit. And when I say subscribe, I don't mean get a subscription. That I'm going to have or comply and get some universal ID so the government can watch everything I do, even though they're doing that anyway, because they're doing that to everybody. But that really makes it, easy to do and easy to ban you for saying whatever they think is inappropriate. And then you get the hate speech laws, and then you get these laws, and you said this, and this sounds like a terrorist threat, and all of those things. That's what's fucking coming. It's not... none of it is I actually wrote an article about it like a year ago after they wanted to get rid of Cop Block and label them a hate group. They wanted to have Cop Block labeled a fucking hate group. But this is all shit that is, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And everybody just sits there. Oh, whatever. I'm going to, do my, who stole my stapler? I'm worried about my stapler. I don't know. And people are just going to sit there, and things will continue to, you look at fucking Trump, and I'm not one to follow the presidential election, because I could fucking care less, because it doesn't matter who gets elected. The same things happen. But of course he's saying that he's going to up security, and so is that other fucking guy, the one who wants to amp up the war on drugs, the doctor behind him. So I mean behind him, because he was, I think now Trump is ahead of him in the polls. But that's where all this shit is going, and they're justifying it by it's like, it's so frustrating that that's how they justify it, because bottom line is, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if there's terrorist attacks or not. If you want freedom, you're going to have to sacrifice some security. See, that's what I believe. I believe in sacrificing some security for freedom, not the other way around, because what Ben Franklin said was right. And I know it's been attributed to a bunch of people, but you don't get neither. When you sacrifice freedom for security, you don't get neither. I'd rather sacrifice security for freedom. I can take care of my own, security. And I could take care of it even more if I was allowed to. But if I'm walking around with a AR-15 strapped to my back everywhere I go, not that you should have to do that, but I'm just saying, if I was in a position where I felt that nervous, and that's legal for me to do that in the state of Nevada, I'm sure I'd be harassed everywhere I go by the police, by people would call the police. But if it was that dangerous with terrorists, I'd rather live that way, where I defend myself and I'll deal with the fucking terrorists, and I'll get together with other people and other groups to fight back, than having the government totally take away all my rights to supposedly fight against them. But too many people are sitting there going along with all this shit and saying, yeah, what Donald Trump said, yeah, that's good. We need to basically have the government just control everything, watch everybody, put people on lockdown, do all this stuff. That's what we need to do. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is from a guy who, this is a game to him. It's just more popularity, or, attention, not popularity, because I don't know that he's getting that much popular, but notoriety, attention. Maybe his parents didn't give him attention when he was a kid, because I've said this before, how I used to listen to the interviews on Howard Stern and how arrogant he was, and how he bragged about his TV show and he's rated #1, and how he has more money than the other millionaires, and they would have, like Mark Cuban, he'd insult him and shit like that, man. And it's like, it's just, it's crazy. And now this fucking guy's running for president, And he's leading in the polls, man. And if they think, they being the powers that be, think that they can control him and get him to do what they want, then maybe he'll become president. Otherwise, it's most likely Hillary, who was promised 8 years ago or 7 years ago, whenever, or no, go the other way, 9 years ago when they had the secret meeting with Obama, and all the reporters were stuck on a plane. Supposedly they were supposed to meet with Obama, but David Axelrod had them on not David Axelrod, the other guy, the former press secretary, had them on a plane, and Obama was someplace else meeting with Hillary. And that's when the Bilderberg group meeting was in Virginia. So I think they already have it set up that Hillary will be the president. They will totally exploit the aspect that she's a woman, and ignorant people will, follow in line with that and vote for her because she's a woman, which is fucking ridiculous. If that, I guess, is and I don't believe in, like I said, voting and any of this shit, but I guess people that do should vote for who they think the best candidate is, not based on, we need a woman, so we're going to vote her in. But like I said, it's rigged anyway, so most likely it's already planned out that she's going to be the next president. And then the same way that they accuse people that didn't go along with Obama as being racist, they'll accuse people that don't go along with Hillary as being sexist. And you look at her in office and 8 years after that, and you look at where things are going to be in fucking 10 years and how much freedom you have. You don't have a lot right now. You don't even fucking realize it. But you look in 10 years and the level of freedom that people have in 2025. And if people, I pretty much think it might even be too late already, but it's not going to stop me from speaking out. But if you want any type of freedom, maybe freedom is not important to you. Maybe what's important to you is a false sense of security, a false sense of being protected when you're just going to be controlled and you're going to be a slave of the government, which pretty much everyone is now. They're just on a giant plantation. And think about how things are going to be then. And then when you're sitting there regretting things because you didn't fucking do anything when you heard about things that were going on here and there, and you didn't do anything about it, and you're sitting there regretting it, then it's too late.
Can the government do to put pressure on companies legally to shut this down?
Well, I mean, that's difficult. As you see with the whole Snowden effect, the pendulum swings the other way, and people say, we want more liberty. We don't want the government looking over our shoulder. We don't want them reading our emails. We don't want any of that. And it's always a trade-off between personal liberties and security. If you look out your window in the middle of the night and there's somebody peering into your car, you call the police and tell them, hey, I think this guy's going to break into my car or steal my car. They'll come out and question them. They don't have anything to arrest them on, but they have the investigative abilities, and you want that investigative ability, because without it...
No, I don't. I'm going to go out there with my fucking gun and say, what the fuck are you doing? My car's in a garage anyway. But if it wasn't, it's what the fuck are you doing looking in my car? I don't need to call the police.
You don't want the police going, sorry, let us know when he commits a crime. So there's always that trade-off. And right now, you've got all those encrypted software that these terrorists are using to communicate, and we don't have the ability to penetrate that software. So you get into